Alright, well today's episode is Pinkie Apple Pie, so named because Pinkie Pie finds out at the beginning of the episode that she's related to the Apple family, or so she thinks, because she didn't bother to mention that the scroll or whatever she checked was kind of smudged, so they can't actually be sure if it says her family name or not, but yeah, so uh, after the opening then where she gets the scroll from Twilight, who's studying genealogy for whatever reason, she heads right over to the Apple's house as fast as she can, upon learning that, yeah, she might be their fourth cousin, twice removed by a fifth cousin. And hey, I'm proud I remembered that one. But okay, so yeah, everybody, even though Applejack is pretty surprised at first, like Pinkie Pie opens the door, hey cousin, hugs her, and like she's just like standing there like what? But okay, so yeah, they all really love the idea, and yeah, they all kind of start trying to impress her right away. Apple Bloom with how playful she is, Big Mac with his strength, but okay, but when Applejack notices the smudge, she doesn't want to get too excited just yet. She says they should probably make sure before they start celebrating that they're family now. So Granny Smith proposes a trip to their cousin or their aunt or whatever, Goldie Delicious, who is the family hoarder, I guess. She has a museum's worth of stuff on the Apple family history. So, okay, the next day they pack up to all take this road trip with Pinkie Pie, head over to Goldie Delicious, and find out if they're family. And in the meantime, of course, the road trip is going to be whether they can bond as family. So, yeah, they have a whole road trip to do that and see whether it was meant to be or not. So, okay, and Applejack tells them ahead of time, though, that they want to impress her. You know, they want her, or in her own word, yeah, we want her to get to know the family, but the best version of their family. So, and yeah, everyone, okay, then decides to, even when they actually start doing stuff that would require maybe some argument, some debate, with Big Mac packing the wagon too full, and stuff like that. Yeah, they kind of bite their tongue. They're just like, well, yeah, not that I'm blaming you, because we don't blame in this family. That kind of having to swallow some frustration with each other, and which is significant because we know they're usually they get along pretty well. The apples, they actually showed Rarity and Sweetie Belle how to get along. So okay, I mean, and they have to work together. They kind of are each other's life, so you know that would require some more, yeah, some closer family ties, I guess, than the average family. So okay, they're usually pretty good at this, but okay, we see here that not even they go without fighting, all the time. So, all right, but now they a bad time for it because now they kind of have to suck it up. But okay, so they start up on their road trip. Pinkie Pie is loving it already. She is just, yeah, so going on in her Pinkie Pie wide-eyed way, like, oh, I can't wait to be a part of this incredible family too. Oh, please tell me all about yourself. And so okay, but they get off to a pretty good start. They yeah, noticing that the wagon rolling down the road, the rickety wagon, is causing sort of a beat. They start singing "Apples to the Core," their family theme song, and yeah, which very catchy. And they even have their own dance steps to it, which I'm really not sure how you do them. It's like they yeah, shuffling their front legs so they're spread all the way out and they're not standing on anything. They have no front support at some point. But okay, yeah, they're well, yeah, a lot of fun animation on that, and okay, so there's that sequence, but then right at the end, the wagon breaks down, and yeah, now okay, yeah, I guess where this is really going, they start well, they are ready to blame Big Mac for packing it too full, but yeah, Applejack has to bite her tongue on that, and Granny Smith proposes a sort of, well, Pinkie Pie and Granny Smith propose the slightly outlandish solution of making a raft out of the broken wagon bits and tree sap to glue it together, and then, yeah, making it a family river trip. So, okay, but then things start going wrong there, bit by bit, getting splashed by waves, the map, Apple Bloom dropping the map overboard, and then Granny Smith accidentally taking them through the scariest cave in all of Equestria. They go through it. We don't even see them go through it. Just hear the horrifying sounds of the inside. Yeah, enough to scare Applejack, who's been through, Discord and the Queen of the Changelings, and she's scared out of her mind. And okay, so yeah, that's just side note, they went through that, and so imagine, understand the part where we come back in is that they're mad at Granny Smith now, as you would kind of expect them to be. But okay, so anyway though, yeah, it keeps getting worse. They go over a waterfall, the raft breaks down, and okay, so by the end of it, they get there. The aunt or whatever she is, she's not home. So yeah, Pinkie Pie goes off to find more pages for the scrapbook she's making, which, yeah, taking pictures of all the worst moments on the trip that the Apple family is trying to look happy for. But anyway, okay, so then the family reconciles. They go on, like, they apologize. They feel really bad that Pinkie Pie witnessed their family falling apart, so they agree that they should tell her she doesn't have to be a part of their family if she doesn't want to. And of course, she overhears this, and then are you kidding? I want to be a part of your family more than ever. Yeah, she has not even been like a little bit bogged down by everything going wrong. She's having the time of her life here. She, yeah, I mean, I guess she just likes family. Like, she doesn't need it to be a perfect family. It's, yeah, she's not bothered a bit by the, rubbing each other's nerves and whatever. So, okay, so then they, yeah, I'll make nice just in time for Goldie Delicious to come home, and Goldie Delicious, who is a big cat lady, she lets them in. She finds the book for what was it? Her own family lineage book. But I think there was like a brief shot where they lingered on the pile of books, and there was like one at the top that had a marker in it. So yeah, that I think was supposed to look distinct. So okay, maybe there will be more on this later, or I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, she finds her version of the book of the lineage tree, and it's also smudged in the exact same spot. So she can't help them. They will never know for sure if Pinkie Pie is related to the Apple family by blood, even though fourth cousin twice removed is not a whole lot of blood, nothing significant. But okay, so. And of course they say, though, that because after all she's been through with them, and after all she stomached, it was happy to stomach because she is that happy to be a part of the family, that she is on the same page with them that much, or not. But, well, but yeah, just goes with them that well, that she is an apple to the core. And I actually think that was kind of the right way to go, because, I mean, if we found out for sure, like, I mean, if she was, then okay, we'd have to go the rest of the time now. That would always be there, that she and Applejack are more closely connected than the rest of the friends, and then, okay, how she's just like family now, even though the friends are supposed to be kind of have that special bond too. And then if she wasn't, they'd still have to do the thing where, okay, well, yeah, you know what, I know you're an apple to the core. They would have to do the same message, because okay, that's kind of what the whole trip was about anyway. But then okay, we'd have to establish how that's any different than the rest of the friends. They've all been through life-changing adventures with Applejack, so okay, that, I mean, like I said, but yeah, technically that wouldn't even be a little bit different. That would be, I mean, the trip really would have been for nothing. So okay, I think not knowing and being willing to say that, okay, yes you are, because we have that special bond with you. Okay, I think that was the right way to go. So, okay, they drive home in a wagon they borrowed from Goldie Delicious, singing apples to the core, and they get there, they put it in the journal, they start arguing about who should write the entry, and then Pinkie Pie, you gotta close us out. I'm part of the Apple family too. I'm arguing. Argue. Bicker. Jordan, and then, yeah, just arguing happily with them, and arguing, but, okay, so, yeah, I said last time that, when I got to the last episode, it seemed to me, okay, the show took a huge swing and missed, a huge miss, so, and that, yeah, it seemed like now it was, okay, up against the ropes, kind of close to bottoming out, and, so, yeah, so as this episode pulled off another over the barrel right here, just, yeah, right back like nothing happened to doing a great job. No, but it has won the show some breathing space. Because, yeah, for one, this is Applejack's best episode in a long time. Like, I think all the way since, like, season 1, long time. Cause yeah, the latest one I could think of that was any better was the Fall Weather Friend, the one with her and Rainbow Dash. Yeah, Fall Weather Friends, that was called, I'm pretty sure. But, okay, so, yeah, and is right, and it's not necessarily because of her that it's that good, but I mean, because yeah, it doesn't like have her right back up to par. That just all the things they were doing with her were like they really weren't sure how to get at something special with this character, how to make her yeah, everything she seemed like at first. I mean, it doesn't do that, but it does find something new and interesting to do with her. That it's a side note. It's not like getting at the core of her character. I'm going to use the word core a lot of times probably, but okay, no, it is something new and interesting, which is wanting to bond with Pinkie Pie, wanting her to be impressed with their family, and wanting to bond with her as a cousin and totally not a sister. But okay, so yeah, that was interesting, and then that she's the first one to say when she is not sure that when they can't be sure that Pinkie Pie is actually their relative, that yeah, that she's the first one to say, well, hold on, I don't want to get too excited about that. Like, she's worried to investing herself in this and then having it taken away. So, okay, like, little touches like that, that's definitely interesting with her. But, so, okay, so this episode isn't for nothing in her direction, but for the most part, she kind of plays her typical role as the level-headed one, the sort of guiding force of her family, or trying to be anyway. And I mean, she does it well this time around. It's not like like Apple Family Reunion, where the stuff that was going wrong was sort of overplayed and just kind of silly. But yeah, so she's solid in this role. But okay, and the rest of the family too, for the most part. I mean, Apple Bloom has some, I guess, cute moments, and Granny Smith, and I mean, yeah, they're all contributing to this dynamic. But I mean, I get like even the whole thing. In fact, I said, yeah, Applejack is just solid, and the whole story is relatively basic. It doesn't just weave this very relatable portrait, or dive into family ties and the good, the bad, and like how you'll get mad at each other, but there's an underlying very relatable sort of thing here. Now it's just sort of the basic, like, okay, they pick now of all times to get mad at each other, and it's not like doing something where you're like, okay, I mean, they're not doing the right thing here, but I mean, I've totally been there, I totally get it, I totally feel bad for them, like, a lot of the times, like, okay, no, you are just being kind of obnoxious. So, okay, yeah, relatively straightforward there, and it does pull a couple of interesting notions from it, and I mean, and make some good points, like that bottling it up, trying to make yourself look better than you think you are. That it bottles it up. It sort of allows hard feelings to grow and fan into a flame instead of just addressing them up front and getting them out there. Maybe having a bad moment, but then putting it to bed is okay. Yeah, no, now they're being frustrated with each other, and I mean they have no chance to be the best of themselves because they're letting this keep getting worse and worse. So okay, that was a solid message, and then that making up for it at the end. I mean, that was just fine. Yeah, the general depiction that okay, the apples can't always be the best of themselves. They can't always get along like peas in a pod, or any cliche you can throw at me. But even so, it drags in a lot of points, and I mean, it doesn't even allow the weave in this, how they're also still very close and to each other. It doesn't really weave that in. It just kind of sticks with the no, this is their hour to fight. So I mean, that drags a little in points because it's more the same, like them being obnoxious the whole time, and it could have even become pretty tedious, I think, because I mean, all of them are dealing with some pretty tedious moments, and that could have carried over. But the episode had an ace in the hole, which is Pinkie Pie, because she is at her absolute best this time. Like, she is at the top of her game. She is very inspired in this outing. Just, like, they know exactly what they're doing with her. Everything that goes wrong, like, she loves it. She's having a ball with it. And I mean, the one-liners, right before they start out in the raft, she's like, all right, this is going to be great. Now say soaked. And that right before the wave hits them. So, yeah, like, getting drenched unexpectedly and being soggy and miserable, fun. But, just, everything about just, she, right in sync, she's having a lot of fun with everything, and like, she actually finds a way to turn a lot of these tedious moments on their head. They go over a waterfall, she whips out her scrapbook camera and is taking pictures with them all the way down, just like Big Mac's screaming while she's giving him a noogie. Applejack is, covering her eyes while Pinkie Pie's next to her making the duck face, and it's just, okay, a lot of fun with that, and, so yeah, anything that still remains kind of tedious is, like, far outweighed by her, and just in the comedy from her, and yeah, she allows the episode to deliver all of its points from that relatively straightforward plot, and still keep it fun, still allow us to get the point without weighing us down, because yeah, Pinkie Pie turns most of what's tedious about it just on its head and makes it a great laugh. So, okay, the characters are overall more than just fine, and the rest of the episode keeps right up. Just the gags it weaves in, every time they drop something, like the map or the steering wheel, like, something grabs it before they can, and then the same eagle swoops down and grabs it, which, okay, pretty funny how they did that. Gags like the scariest cave in all of Equestria, that was, or Pinkie Pie at the beginning with Twilight. She is hiding in the bookshelf, Twilight takes a book, screams, Pinkie Pie screams, but like, yourself. But that, okay, so, well, that's a Pinkie Pie moment again. And then, of course, Apples to the Core, which I'm going to go ahead and say beats Raise This Barn for the best Applejack song, Applejack-related song, because, I mean, the very catchy, very folksy, and just such a good feeling to it. I mean, that's one of the times where, okay, I guess they do, at least in that moment, sort of let just how close the Apple family is come through with, because, I mean, everything, the visuals on it, where they're dressing up as thieves, and Pinkie Pie, because they're thick-ass thieves, and Pinkie Pie finds her own way to fit in her a completely different costume, but still a thief, a robber's outfit, and, doing her own, like, they're doing their, sort of, difficult to do square dance with the, legs, but, and then, she's doing the wave or whatever, so she's finding her own way to fit in, and just, I mean, I don't know, it's just so upbeat, so catchy, like, the good feeling to it, so, okay, that was a highlight, and then, other little moments, too, with the characters, like, this Goldie Delicious character, they managed to say without saying what kind of a character she is. She has cats everywhere, she's totally by herself, her house is, filled to the brim with all of these belongings, and I mean, and they also find a way to sort of subtly make a commentary on it, in my opinion, because, I mean, she does have she's the only one who could have helped them with this, and she does have some pretty cool stuff, like them, as Applejack's on her way in, she trips over some horse, she's like, oh, careful, those belong to your great-great-great-uncle, they were his personal, but then Apple Bloom comes across a half-eaten gingerbread house, she's like, how about this? Oh, that was my lunch from 2 weeks ago, so, so it's like, okay, there is something to this, there is a reason you'd want to do this, but I mean, like, the desires of a hoarder go a little bit beyond that, you don't need to hold on to every little thing, and I mean, there is, like, this doesn't need to be, your life, but there is some value to it, I mean, there's a balance, and I think that's a good message, because I know I'm terrible with that, there's a lot of stuff I need to get rid of, but, so yeah, I for one appreciate the message, I'll get on that, but, okay, so anyway, it's really hard for me to even think of much to criticize about this episode, nothing in particular. If I had to pick a biggest complaint, it would have to be that it kind of turns Big Mac into a doofus, because, because his best quality was always that he kind of carried some dignity, like he has looked silly before, but it was usually either due to, like, circumstances beyond his control, just, being put under a spell or something, or because of what we could see that everyone else couldn't. He does have his vulnerable points and stuff, and there's points where we could see that I mean, it was kind of felt like when he runs off with the Smarty Pants doll, or he's just crying the hardest because Applejack might not come home. And yeah, I think that was more in step with what we'd seen from him. But he kind of was, I think, a subtle statement that, okay, somebody like that, just a strong, hard worker who doesn't talk very much, doesn't necessarily mean he's stupid. It doesn't mean he's a coward or anything like that. You know, he just is what he's a honorable guy doing his thing. But I mean, now it's like, yeah, he's hitting himself with pies in an attempt to show how strong he is, and yeah, overpacking wagon. And in the very first time we see him, or at least I don't know if it was, but the very first time we see him in any kind of significant role, it's the other way around. He was suggesting not overdoing it with the Applejack trying to harvest all the apples, and I mean, yeah, now he's the one overdoing it and say, it's gonna be fine, stop getting in my face, I totally know what I'm doing. Now it's like he does have an ego, he is a macho sort of knucklehead, and I mean, I kind of would hate to see them start taking him in that direction instead, because I mean, he was a likable sort of background character, and I mean, I don't know, I just think that's more generic and less funny, first because his other gags that were in character were pretty funny and just generally less appealing. But okay, so anyway, but yeah, aside from that, I think they and a couple of the moments that drag that, like I said, were far outweighed by how funny Pinkie Pie was. I think this is definitely a good episode, and definitely the best one-part episode of the season after Flight to the Finish, because Flight for the Finish, it did kind of swing for the fence at points. It almost got there too. This one just kind of seems we're happy to just have fun with it. It's not like really thinking, ooh, how can we make this the best? It's just really having fun with the gags and stuff. But yeah, it delivers plenty with very few drawbacks. So yeah, I think it is definitely a good episode. Definitely Applejack's best in a long time. So okay, yeah, props. So alright, this season, it's still got something up its sleeve, it looks like, so alright, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next, which is Rainbow Falls. So alright, we'll see where it goes from here. I'll see you next time.
We're apples forever, apples together, we're family but so much more. No matter what comes, we will face the weather, we're apples to the core.
Okay, cut! Wrong! Okay, just watch me, it's so simple, you sissy ponies, and playback.
From Equestria and beyond.
Watch me pony.
We're apples forever, apples together, we're family but so much more. No matter what comes, we will face the weather, we're apples to the core. There's no place that I'd rather.
Have you got it?